What do these latest developments across the northern border mean for the tens of thousands of Israelis who have been evacuated from their homes in northern Israel since the war started? Well, the lobby group called Lobby 1701 has even sent a letter to US President Joe Biden and the National Security Council saying American support in a move against Hezbollah is crucial for their safe return. We now welcome for more Nisan Zeevi, the founder of that lobby group 1701. He joins us from Kfar Giladi in northern Israel. Nisan, thank you so much. We just spoke to my colleague up north. He says most people have left the northern communities. I understand you are choosing not to leave. You're in Kfar Giladi in the Galilee Panhandle south of Metula. Describe for us what it's like being so close to the border with Lebanon, given the current tensions across that front.
Hi, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm choosing to be here as part of my reserve duty as one of the emergency, I'm taking part in the emergency task force of Kfar Giladi. And regarding your question, I think that for the first time, we actually feel that we live in a battle zone. It's a battlefield. More than 80,000 people have been evacuated from their home, from their communities, from their villages, and for the first time, Israel actually create a buffer zone inside Israel. It's a situation that I think it's unprecedented. And this is why we established Lobby 1701, which is a civilian organization that representing, as I mentioned, more than 80,000 residents of the northern Israel who were evacuated from their home and have been turned into refugees in their own land. And the fact that the Biden administration and the France administration are now trying to shape the future of me and my family, and the security that we will have, it's a little bit disturbing. No one asked us about if we can keep live here and growing our children. 800 from my house, there is a Desa. It's a Shi'i village controlled by Hezbollah. They're firing the rockets from civilian houses to civilian targets inside Israel. So when the Biden administration and the UN and the French talking about diplomatic solution, it sounds like they are not connected to what's happening in reality. I need to emphasize that in 2006, we already tried the diplomatic approach with the 1701 resolution. And, 15 years later, we found the Radwan unit of more than 5,000 commando terrorists actually standing on the fence of Israel, ready to attack.
Unbelievable.
So when we see what's happening in the US, it's disturbing. And this is why we decide to write to the Biden administration as the citizen. We are the client of any resolution or any agreement that they will do. So it will be appropriate if someone will speak with the resident, and not only, in the media.
So I understand that you sent a letter to the US President and the National Security Council about exactly that. You're describing it so well, Resolution 1701. It couldn't even be enforced properly over all these years. Any response, any reaction? What can you tell us?
So to be honest with you, it was very hard to find the right persons or the contact of the Biden administration, the White House, the Security Council, and more. After we found the contact of specific people that I'm not going to publish here, we know that they got the letter, and we're expecting them to give us feedback. Amos Hochstein is here in Israel. We're calling Amos, come and talk to us. The resident of the northern border. it's not a decision that only the leaders needs to agree. We need to agree, because right now we understand that if the UN and the US and France will continue with this blind approach to go on the diplomatic approach, we will create a pressure on our government to take this situation, and we recently pressure our government to solve this issue through military means. Okay, we will not come back until Hezbollah will go off north to the Litani.
Right.
Now, when I'm saying such a sentence, you need to understand, I'm not talking about troops of Hezbollah withdraw from the buffer zone. They actually live here. Okay, so we need to understand that the only solution is to exile them and their families from the border. This is the only situation, because otherwise Israel will lose one of the most beautiful, most promising regions that we have here in Israel. Just to give you a small number, in the last 8 years, we established here an ecosystem of startups, more than 75 startups in the field of food tech, ag tech, climate tech. Investors from all over the world, from the US, are coming here on a daily basis. It was like a magic.
Right.
And because of the war and because what's happening right on the border, all the startups, of course, evacuate themselves with their families, and we're going back 30 years, in the timeline. So I'm saying to the U.S. administration and to any representative of the UN, before making a decision, you need to speak with us. We are the client.
Right.
We are the people that's supposed to live here. Right now, when they are firing rockets, anti-tank missiles to civilian target, killing civilians, we will not allow. We saw what happened on October 7th. You need to understand.
Right.
No one here in the north will accept less than total withdrawal from this area, and to create a buffer zone inside Lebanon and not inside Israel.
There's no doubt about it. The 80,000 plus people who have evacuated need to be able to go back there to live safely and not to be worried about Radwan forces or any other entity attacking them. And obviously there can never be a repeat of what happened on the 7th of October. But Nisan, I need to ask you, while we hear about Amos Hochstein and we're hearing about diplomatic efforts and other countries being involved, there could be an even more pressing development before any of that is sorted out, and that is the fact that there was a fiery speech by Hassan Nasrallah overnight vowing action after Hamas deputy Salah al-Aruri was assassinated in that precision strike in Beirut. You are right there close to the border. How worried are you about a full uptick and that Hezbollah will respond with force soon?
To be honest with you, I think it's the only way to solve the problem.
Explain that.
We will not accept another diplomatic solution. We will not accept another diplomatic solution. It didn't work. It was a total failure. And sometimes in the Middle East, you need to be strong, and sometimes you need a war. That's it. This is the sentiment of the resident of the northern, of northern Israel. You need to understand that my family, my wife, my boys, they are refugees in our country for more than 3 months, living in a small room near the Kinneret. Refugees in our own country. Okay, but we're resilient. We are strong. We don't mind to be in this situation another 100 days. What we're asking is to solve this problem once and for all. And if Nasrallah want to react, be my guest. The IDF is strong. here with I'm not going to say everything about the units that are here, but we are feeling safe here. The emergency task force, and we are ready for any scenario. And we believe that the only scenario that will bring back our families will be to fulfill the 1701 resolution with military means, with a military operation that fulfill the essence of 1701, a buffer zone inside Lebanon till the Litani River.
Nisan Zeevi, the founder of that lobby group 1701, live from Kfar Giladi in northern Israel. Thank you for speaking to us. Stay safe, and may your family stay safe as well. Thank you very much for being with us on I-24 News.
Thank you so much.